What the f is radical honesty? You probably think that you're a pretty honest person. Well, I'm not so sure. I know I'm not. And most of the people that I know, from friends to family members, romantic partners, even my fellow radical honesty trainers, are all pretty full of shit. But here's the thing. Our conceptions of what it means to be honest are probably quite different. For instance, a lot of people will say to me things like, yeah man, I'm honest to a fault. In fact, most people tell me I ought to shut the hell up, which is generally a pretty clear signal to me that we're talking about two very different things. You see, most people seem to think that being honest means being a judgmental asshole, spewing your negative opinions all over everyone all the time. But that has nothing at all to do with what radical honesty is. So in this video, we're going to discuss 3 things that radical honesty is, and at least one thing that it's not. Radical honesty is an awareness practice. So being radically honest requires first that you develop an awareness of your own experience to such a degree that you can then describe that simply and clearly to other people around you. And so this level of awareness and descriptive communication is kind of a game changer in a few important ways. So first of all, when you communicate simply and descriptively in this way, you actually connect to your own experience of life from moment to moment in a deeper way. And secondly, when you communicate in this simple and descriptive way, you're more in touch with the other people around you and less tangled up in the backwash of your own mind, your own habitual manipulating, strategizing, and image management. So for example, if I were to say to you something like, "You're such a radiant being of light and joy," first of all, you might wonder how many mushrooms I've had to eat today. And secondly, you might wonder what the hell you did to deserve such a compliment. If, on the other hand, I just say to you something really simple, like, "Wow, I just really love your smile and the way that you laugh. You have such a great laugh. I just love being around you and I just feel all warm inside," then you're probably a lot more connected to what I'm saying, or at the very least, you get what I mean. Second thing, radical honesty is reporting what you notice. We talked about developing our awareness, right? In the awareness continuum, there are actually only 3 simple categories into which any of our conscious experiences can easily be sorted. The first category is called inside. So these are sensations felt inside the body right now. Specific sensations such as the weight of your butt in the chair, tightness in the back of your neck, or pain behind the eyes. The second category is called outside. So these are sights and sounds in your immediate environment right now, like the desk in front of you, plane flying overhead, or the video playing on your screen. The third category is the mind stream. We call this upside down. So these are thoughts and images in your mind right now, like, "Oh, am I doing a good job? I hope everyone's gonna like me." Or maybe something like, "Damn, I'm totally killing this, bro." And that's it. There's nothing more that you can be aware of. Anything that ever happens in your conscious experience is always happening in one of those 3 categories right now. If you have visions of the future, those are happening right now in your mind. Remembrances of the past, also happening in your mind right now. Anything that ever happens to you consciously is always happening now. And so, radical honesty is simply the practice of reporting what you notice in your conscious awareness out loud to other people. Third thing that radical honesty is an interpersonal meditation. So many types of meditation are actually an awareness practice. Some have you observe the thoughts and images that float through your mind. Other forms of meditation have you focus your attention on specific sensations in your body. There are many different techniques, but the general aim is that you sit quietly and you focus your attention on different aspects of your experience in an attempt to get your head out of the clouds and your feet back on the ground. Many types of yoga are intended to be a moving meditation. So your attention is focused on the breath and on the movement of the body. Just another way to disidentify with your mind stream. So radical honesty is similar to these other forms of meditation in that the goal is to interrupt the mind by shifting your awareness away from the mind and towards the other aspects of your experience, like the things that you see and hear in the world around you, or the sensations that you feel in your body. And we do this in order to pull you out of being lost in thought, daydreams, fantasy, projections of the future, and remembrances of the past. So we call this losing your mind and coming to your senses. And the idea is simply this. First, we drop the mind. And then we get grounded in our senses. And once we're grounded in sensate reality, then we get our minds back. But now our minds are useful to us as a creative tool and not as an instrument of torture. Radical honesty is not brutal honesty. Radical honesty isn't a sucker punch or a knockout blow or even a slap in the face. Because the point of radical honesty isn't to hurt anyone's feelings, to put them down, or to pick fights. The point of radical honesty is just quite simply to get over ourselves by being real. And yes, when we're real, we will sometimes hurt other people's feelings. There's no way to avoid that. But we stick with each other. We learn to feel our way through the hurt, through the anger, through the upset. And on the other side of that is a kind of fundamental appreciation and love for each other that isn't possible as long as we're avoiding or resisting being angry or being upset. And we do this, once again, by learning to shift our attention away from the mind stream and towards the other aspects of our present moment experience, like the sensations in our body or the sights and sounds in the world around us. It might sound too simple to work, but over half a century of experience teaches us that this is the most effective way to both get over yourself and to stay more connected with the other people around you in your life. And while the basic concept is fairly simple, putting this into practice in your life requires a certain amount of work. The real benefits of radical honesty don't come from learning about honesty, reading self-help books, or thinking about it really hard. The real benefits of honest communication come from the lived experience of putting yourself out there and revealing yourself to other people and feeling your way through that process. So, if you'd like to go for a little deeper dive into radical honesty, you can sign up for an online course, you can join us for an in-person workshop, or get some one-on-one coaching.